Hello everyone, this is Kevin T. Rodriguez of themoviewizard.com. You may have noticed I have a little bit of facial hair. Well, in solidarity with the Muppets being on hiatus, I decided not to shave until they came back. Okay, that's not true, I've just been too lazy to shave. But the Muppets did come back, and as promised in my last video, I am doing a little review slash reaction thing. Anyway, the Muppets, in case you didn't know, they came back to TV, and when the premiere episode came along, it did great ratings and got mixed reviews. More towards the positive, but they were mixed nonetheless. People commented that they felt the characters were too cynical, they didn't like the adult humor, even though there really wasn't that much of it. And of course, there was that whole boycott thing, because they said it wasn't suitable for kids, and I don't know, I think it is okay for kids, but anyway, so the ratings kind of started going down, and they went up a little, and they went down, and so basically, Disney did order 3 additional episodes from the 13 episodes, but they paused the production of the show. They got rid of the showrunner. They brought someone new in to rewrite the last couple scripts for the first half of the first season, and pretty much promised, like, we're going to reboot the series, and it will come back in February, which it has. And now that it's back in February, I'm sorry, you'd think I'd put hairspray on this hair so that doesn't cover my eyes. And, like, why do I always forget to put hairspray in my hair? I could have sworn that I made, like, a big note to make sure I do that. Okay, well, anyway. So, the show's back, and here's my reaction on it. Like, I predicted when it would come back that it really wouldn't be that different. I predicted it would, like, it'd probably be a little sweeter. It might even be rated G. But otherwise, I didn't think they would change that much. And I think I'm right. They didn't change that much. Little subtle changes do go a long way. Like, in the theme song, for the first 10 episodes, after everyone gets their coffee and their donuts and everything, Kermit was like, time to get started, and he said it in a way that says, I hate being at work. Now the new theme song is like, time to get started, like, okay, let's get started, and so it's a little happier now. Miss Piggy, who I admit was a little overbearing in the first episodes, she's still her diva self, but she's much nicer to get along with. Spoiler alert, Denise, the new pig that Kermit's dating, she's gone. She dumps him in this episode, which is good. That means a Kermit and Piggy reunion is definitely coming soon. I can understand why they did this to get people interested in the show, but once the show started, it probably wasn't that great of an idea for the show, so I'm glad they're backtracking on that, like, as soon as possible. And, strangely enough, unlike most episodes of the show where I don't think there's anything wrong with them, I did notice 2 or 3 jokes that were clearly not appropriate for kids. So much for it being made safer. It actually seems almost more adult now, but yet still nicer. It's weird. I don't know. So, bottom line is that the Muppets are back, and I think the show is better now. Not drastically so, but a little better. I do like how they actually spent more time using the Muppets on the Tonight Show, or the talk show host, I should say, because Tonight Show is trademarked. The talk show circuit, so they have, like, that bear, not Fozzie, the other bear, the real lethargic talking one, reading quotes from The Real Housewives, and then they had a skit with Pepe driving for Uber, which I thought was really funny. And when the musical guests couldn't show up, Kermit got his banjo out, and he and Piggy did a little duet. And the song was written in 1999. I forgot exactly what it was called at this moment, because I'm bad with names that way. So it couldn't have been on The Muppet Show, but it sounds like a song that would have been on The Muppet Show, had it existed at the time. And that was really sweet. So, they are improving it by bringing the Muppets more into the picture, instead of it just being about Kermit, Piggy, and the guest host. Although I still look forward to guest stars. I mean, that's a tradition now, and like The Simpsons, when it works well, it can work really well. However, and I do want to comment on this. This is why I waited the day after the episode aired before I made this video. The show did premiere to an all-time low ratings. And so people are predicting, well, that's it. Show's not coming back. And you might have remembered that I did another video, because this is what, the third or fourth Muppet video that I've done. And I predicted that unless the ratings got astronomically bad, this show would be safe. So the time has come. Like, that was like after 3 or 4 episodes, and we've now hit 11 episodes, and very few times have the ratings gone up. They've always gone a little down. Like, if you look at a chart, it almost looks like the Fine Brothers subscription count. It's not looking great. So the question is probably now, do I stand by the fact that I believe the show will be renewed? I'm going to say yes. I'm not as certain as before, because this is not the direction you want your show to be going. Trust me, you really don't. And if you aren't watching the show, I encourage you to watch it, not only to get the ratings up, but because it's a good show, and it's worth watching, and it's really funny. And we don't have too many genuinely funny shows on TV, especially not network TV. So please, watch it. Any help the show can get is a bonus. But even though the show continues to slide, it's still doing better than other shows on ABC that are considered locked for renewals. It's doing better than Last Man Standing, starring Tim Allen. It's doing better than Dr. Ken, which I want to add also has awful reviews. The difference between the Muppets and those two shows is that those two shows are on Fridays, so Friday shows get a little bit more of a pass. However, the Muppets is also owned by Disney, who owns ABC. And there are reasons for Disney to keep the show going. Reasons like this, and this, and this, and this, and little Disneyland trinkets like this. Bottom line is, this is why I'm still sticking with the show is going to be renewed. Because if there is one show that is doing better than, it's doing better than Agent Carter and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's getting more viewers than those shows. And unlike Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., because people who watch Agent Carter do like it. But unlike Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., people actually seem to like the Muppets. And, but the reason Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. keeps getting renewed is because it's Marvel. And there's a bigger franchise potential there. Disney has DVDs and merchandise to sell. I think they are still heavily invested in having this thing on until they can syndicate it. And when I say syndicate, that means, when they can syndicate it on the Disney Channel or Freeform. Is that what they call ABC Family now? Freeform? So, even though it's not looking... And, I also want to say this. Gallivant, which still very funny show. You should also be watching that if you haven't watched it. That probably will not get a third season. But the first season did terrible in ratings. But, but one of the things that saved it was that people liked the soundtrack and they were buying it on iTunes. So Disney renewed it with the intention that the soundtrack sales could probably make up any money we lose if the second season isn't a big hit. Not only is the Muppets doing way better than Gallivant did in the first season, so that looks pretty good right there. But again, the Muppets have a lot more merchandise to sell. So, I think we will get at least a second season of the Muppets. I am not so convinced we're going to get 3 or 4 unless it starts to improve, though. So, I am going to put that on the table. If you want to see the show last, watch it. Just keep watching it. And it is really funny. And so I like the rebooted Muppets. Again, it's not that different, but it's different enough, I think. And yeah, I look forward to where this is going. And there's 5 more episodes of this season, and I'm hoping the ratings go up, even just a little bit. If they can go by 1 million or 2 views in the last few episodes, then I think the show is a lock. Right now, I do agree with the Cancel Bear. It's a toss-up. I still think I'm personally going on the line saying it's better than a toss-up. I think it's a pretty good chance for renewal, but looking at everything, taking the rating stuff into account, all right, toss-up. I'm getting renewed. But I still think it will get renewed. But watch it anyway, because it is really funny. And I can't show you the Pepe Uber clip, but Hulu does have that clip, so you can watch it there. and I will post a link to it below. So, anyway, that's my thoughts. Did any of you watch the rebranded Muppets show, or the rebooted, whatever the heck they want to call it? What do you think about it? Do you hope it gets a second season? I'd like to know. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe, and as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.